Today, we dive into one of the most shocking cases that has left investigators, the public, and an entire nation reeling. Welcome to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. Our focus today is on a disturbing case from France that has not only gripped the nation, but also exposed deep-rooted issues within French society. This isn't just about a single horrific crime. It's a stark reminder of a dark undercurrent that has run through French culture for centuries. As we unravel this story, we'll see how it echoes disturbing historical precedents and forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, justice, and the treatment of victims. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of a case that has shaken France to its core and raised questions that resonate far beyond its borders. In the quiet town of Mazan in Provence, a seemingly ordinary couple's life concealed a nightmare that would shock the world. Dominique Pelico, a 71-year-old man, stands accused of an unthinkable crime, drugging his wife, Giselle, and inviting dozens of men to rape her unconscious body over the course of nearly a decade. The details that have emerged during the trial are truly horrifying. Between 2011 and 2020, Dominique Pelico allegedly orchestrated these assaults, meticulously documenting them through photos and videos. The 50 co-defendants, ranging from firefighters to journalists, now face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. What makes this case particularly chilling is Dominique Pelico's tearful admission of guilt in court. He confirmed that all of his co-defendants were fully aware of the situation when they accepted his invitations. The evidence presented is overwhelming, yet the trial has exposed the deep-rooted issues within the French justice system. Despite the abundance of incriminating material, some defense lawyers have resorted to scrutinizing Giselle Pelico's private life and motives, even questioning her state of consciousness during the assaults. This victim-blaming approach has outraged advocates for sexual abuse survivors, highlighting the uphill battle many victims face when seeking justice in France. The Pelic case serves as a stark reminder of the systemic struggles that persist, even in the face of seemingly irrefutable evidence. The Pelic case, as shocking as it is, isn't an isolated incident in French history. It bears a disturbing resemblance to the dark fantasies penned by one of France's most notorious figures, the Marquis de Sade. In his infamous work, 120 Days of Sodom, de Sade described acts of extreme sexual depravity and violence that mirror the allegations in the Pelic trial. Written in the 18th century, 120 Days of Sodom tells the story of four wealthy men who imprison a group of young victims for months of sexual torture. The parallels to the Pelic case are chilling. Both involve powerful men subjecting unwilling victims to prolonged sexual abuse. This connection raises uncomfortable questions about the persistence of such themes in French culture. De Sade's works, while controversial, have long been considered part of France's literary canon. They've been studied, debated, and even celebrated in some circles as pushing the boundaries of artistic expression. But the Pelic case forces us to confront the real-world implications of these dark fantasies. It shows that the line between fiction and reality can be terrifyingly thin. The case serves as a stark reminder that what some may dismiss as mere literary provocation can have devastating consequences when acted out in real life. This historical context doesn't excuse the crimes alleged in the Pelic case, but it does provide a troubling backdrop. It suggests that the roots of such behavior run deep in French society, intertwined with notions of power, sexuality, and artistic freedom that have been debated for centuries. The Pelic trial has laid bare the deep-rooted issues within France's legal system when it comes to handling sexual abuse cases. Victims often face an uphill battle, starting with the very act of reporting their assault. Many choose to stay silent, fearing they won't be believed or that they'll be subjected to further trauma during the legal process. One of the most glaring issues is the prevalence of victim blaming. We've seen this play out in the Pelic case, where defense attorneys have scrutinized Giselle Pelico's private life and motives, even questioning whether she was truly unconscious during some of the encounters. This type of questioning shifts focus away from the accused and onto the victim, perpetuating harmful stereotypes and discouraging other survivors from coming forward. Another significant problem is the inadequate support provided to victims throughout the legal process. Many survivors find themselves navigating a complex and often hostile system without proper guidance or resources. This lack of support can lead to re-traumatization and a sense of isolation for those seeking justice. The Pelic case has sparked a national conversation about these systemic issues, with many calling for comprehensive reform. Advocates are pushing for better training for legal professionals, increased resources for victim support services, and a shift in societal attitudes towards sexual violence. The hope is that this high-profile case will serve as a catalyst for meaningful change in how France's justice system handles sexual abuse cases, ultimately leading to better outcomes for survivors. The Pelic case, as shocking as it is, isn't an isolated incident. Across the globe, we see similar patterns of abuse, especially when power and influence come into play. Let's take a moment to consider the recent allegations against music mogul P. Diddy. Like the Pelic case, the accusations against P. Diddy involve multiple alleged victims and a pattern of behavior spanning years. The similarity lies in how both cases showcase the potential for powerful individuals to exploit their position, using their wealth and influence to silence victims and evade justice. In both situations, we see how money and status can create a shield of impunity. The Pelic case involves dozens of men from various walks of life, while the P. Diddy case centers on a single, highly influential figure in the entertainment industry. Yet both demonstrate how systemic issues in our justice systems can allow such abuses to continue unchecked for years. These cases highlight a universal truth. Sexual abuse knows no borders, no social class, and no industry. Whether in France or the United States, in small towns or glittering cities, the dynamics of power, silence, and shame play out in disturbingly similar ways. It's a stark reminder that while individual cases may shock us, the underlying issues are global in scale. The fight for justice and accountability is one that transcends national boundaries, calling for a united front against sexual abuse wherever it occurs. The #MeToo movement has undeniably shaken French society, sparking crucial conversations about sexual violence and consent. Since its inception, we've seen a surge in women coming forward with their stories, challenging the long-standing culture of silence surrounding these issues. In the wake of #MeToo, France has witnessed the downfall of several high-profile figures in entertainment and politics. This has forced a reckoning within industries long plagued by systemic abuse and cover-ups. The movement has also led to legislative changes, including stricter laws on sexual harassment and extended statutes of limitations for reporting sexual crimes. However, the Pelic case serves as a stark reminder that progress is slow and often met with resistance. Despite the shocking nature of the allegations, we've seen defense lawyers resorting to victim-blaming tactics, questioning Gisèle Pelicot's sexual history, and implying consent where none could have been given. This case highlights the persistent gap between societal awareness and institutional change. While public opinion has shifted, the legal system still struggles to adequately address sexual crimes. The treatment of Gisèle Pelicot in court underscores the need for further reforms in how these cases are handled, from investigation to trial. The journey towards true justice for sexual abuse survivors in France is far from over. The Pelic case serves as both a rallying cry for continued activism and a sobering reminder of the work that still lies ahead. As we wrap up this chilling episode, it's clear that the Pelic case is more than just a singular tragedy. It's a stark reminder of the deep-rooted issues that persist in France and around the world when it comes to sexual violence and justice. This case has forced French society to confront uncomfortable truths about its legal system, its cultural attitudes, and its treatment of victims. The bravery of Gisèle Pelicot in facing her accusers and speaking out has sparked a crucial national conversation. But the implications stretch far beyond France's borders. From the historical echoes of Sade to modern cases like P. Diddy's, we see a global pattern of power, silence, and injustice that must be addressed. The fight against sexual violence is far from over. It requires vigilance, empathy, and action from all of us. Stay informed about these issues in your own communities. Support organizations working to reform justice systems and aid survivors. And most importantly, believe and stand with victims when they come forward. Remember, change begins with awareness and ends with action. Together, we can work towards a world where justice is served and survivors are heard and protected. Thank you for listening to The Real Crime Diary. Until next time, stay safe and stay vigilant.